Good morning. Time now for Tech Central here on the Morning Express. And this morning we'll be focusing on Freshpro Kenya. And this is an app on Google Play that you can use to get groceries delivered right to your doorstep. And in studio with us is the CEO of Freshpro Kenya, Ahmed Ibrahim. Thank you so much for joining us in studio. All right, let's begin with, it's a great app. I've used it before, but what influenced this decision to have such an app?
It's the access to market. Technology is changing very, very fast. And applications or the technology makes access to millions of people easy. So getting access to the market becomes very, very easy if you have an application. Yeah.
Right, and how long ago did this begin?
Well, we started this project 2 years ago. We were working on another project and we discovered that that wasn't the major problem. The major problem was access to market for farm produce. Farmers have, the agricultural sector in Kenya is really, really in a dire need. And you'll find the population of Kenya increasing by 2 to 3% every year. That's 1 million people being increased. And the same lands that we have, arable, are reducing. You have factors like urbanization coming in place. You have the average age of a farmer being 65 years. So in the next 10 years, most of them will be in a retirement age. So all these factors catapulted for us to come up with a solution, a radical solution. And the major thing that a farmer needs is what to grow, when to grow it, and when to harvest it.
Right.
So that way, we had to come up with a system that is data-driven. So we define ourselves as a data-driven agricultural service. We basically do end-to-end solutions. We have the end consumer on one end and the farmer on the other end. So when you order from us in using our application, we are able to predict your taste, analyze your orders and all that. That information is very, very critical. And that is why we give it to the farmers. That information will help them know what to grow. Right. And we came up with a calendar basically to guide them. So it's a data-driven agriculture, removing all the uncertainties and making sure it's exactly what it is.
Right. Yeah. Now, unfortunately, we cannot demonstrate how to use the app, but maybe you could take us through that. At what point, do you get that information to the farmers? At what point do you sign up with the farmer? How does that work?
We have 8,000 farmers who have been registered already.
Wow.
Yes. And we have a farm end application.
So that's a different application?
It's a different application. So we have given it to about 110 farmers to test pilot it. The produce, again, it's a bittersweet reality. We're having a food shortage, and again, you'll find other farmers who cannot access markets and have abundance of produce. We don't have even, the capacity to take the entire 8,000 farmers as produce. So with that, we started with 110 and gradually grew.
Right.
So with that 110, we gave them the applications. So whatever they grow, we told them that this is exactly what you're going to grow. We radically organized them in groups. So we have about 84 different varieties, and all those different varieties are being grown in such a way that every week we can be able to harvest from all these farmers. So that is the core to definition of a radical farmer.
Right.
Yes.
And other than access to a market, what's in it for the farmer in terms of, say, middlemen? What's the difference between Freshpro and the other middleman on the ground? Well,
we want to work with the other middlemen, but the problem is they take advantage of the farmers. What Freshpro does is it eliminates that. Agricultural sector, if you want to reform it, there's no way shortcut to it. Right. You have to do it the whole chain. That's why we introduced what we call the seed to plate. With these farmers, we give them the seeds so that they can start growing it. With that, you can be able to control the consistency and all that. So brokers or middlemen, they come in and they take it. They don't care what has been grown, the process that they're taken, is it organic or not, and they just supply it to the market. So for us, we wanted to grow with the farmers, to tell them, guide them. You'll find that mashamba sana watu wanasema zimechoka. Guys say that. So what we do is we test the lands, we give them the soil analysis and samples, and we tell them how they can be able to correct it. It has increased yields by 10% to 15% within the first 3 or 4 months. That to a farmer is really, really, it's a lot.
Right.
So we are not, we want to work with them, but you cannot define technology.
And you have 8,000 farmers registered with you, and you say you give them, you carry out the tests, soil, pH, and whatnot. So does it mean you have to meet all these farmers that sign up with you face-to-face?
We have 8 extension offices, and that is their main work. We have subdivided all the farmers into routes, marked them all. So I'll tell you that within one route in northern Kiambu, specifically in Githunguri area, we have X amount of farmers. So that way we are able to know exactly who's next for purposes of extension services and who needs what. And if the farmer has an application, they have all this information to fill. So we get it real time and we're able to organize it and plan it well. We can have a 2 months plan for that. Even 3 months plan.
And how do farmers register with Freshpro, and these extension services, are they free or do they have to pay a fee for that?
No, it's actually very free. There's no fee, there's no pay, you don't pay anything. What we have is, we're working in Githunguri area right now, northern Kiambu, because it's very near to Nairobi and all that. But we have plans that we want to expand. But with that, we have to make use of these 8,000 farmers and give them the hope and train them and radically organize them. It's a long way, but we'll urge other farmers to be patient. We're also coming on their way.
Right, that's interesting. I mean, and what capacity are you looking at? How many farmers eventually are you wanting to
Our system can handle 100,000 farmers and above.
How is that? I mean, how do you sustain that in terms of training, in terms of the extension services that you give later on, and they're not paying anything for it?
I'll tell you one. Githunguri Farmers Association has over 24,000 members. It's a model, and they offer training services on a weekly basis, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays. It's a model for us that we want to take. They have training centers, they have distributions. So for us, we want to tweak that a bit and add technology. With technology, you can communicate to millions of people all around the world. So with that, we want to change that. 18% of our farmers have smartphones. That is quite a huge number, and it's going to increase. So if that increases, that makes us access to these farmers again very, very easy for us.
All right. And let's focus now on the consumer. I understand this is an app on Google Play. I don't know if it's on...
It's on Google Play. It's on Android.
It's on Android. Yes. All right. And so, yeah, I am a consumer. I've gone to Google Play, downloaded the app. What next?
Basically, you go register first. You key in your details. Automatically put in it in the map. We have optimized routing softwares. And then after that, we are able to know exactly where you are. And if immediately you order, it logs in, your deliveries and everything, we are able to deliver within 24 hours.
Within 24 hours?
Yes.
Is that anywhere in Kenya?
That is specifically in Nairobi region right now. We have plans to launch that in Mombasa and Nakuru, maybe in the next few months.
Right, right. And how many consumers have you had so far who've had vegetables delivered through Freshpro? Okay,
we have 1,000 customers, and we have about 650 they're repeat customers and clients. So we have learned a lot with them. We have been able to know the taste, what they need, the specification. Every single basket is different. When you order, and imagine 100 people's baskets are different.
Right.
It's a very complicated way. So we had to literally learn it and to come up with systems again in place to organize that mess. Yes.
All right, let's talk about product category and the price. If I go to the market and the tomato is, I don't know, 3 tomatoes for 20 shillings, is that the same with Freshpro? Is it cheaper? Is it more expensive?
It's actually the same as Freshpro. Our tomatoes are very, 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 very cheap. The reason is we are dealing directly with farmers. We don't have any middlemen in between. And we're also dealing directly with the end consumer. So that is the benefit that we're passing to the end consumer. At the end of the day, you'll find our prices are 30% cheaper compared to, if you follow us on Facebook, we normally have this Sokomoto. Sokomoto are farmers who have actually grown and they have huge amounts of produce. They don't know where to take it. Synonymous with many farmers. And the way we do it is we market for them at a very good price, very low, just below. So you can follow us on Facebook and see the trends in that.
Yeah, that's very interesting. And then, of course, vegetables are very highly perishable.
Yes.
That's I would imagine that's why you deliver them within 24 hours. But
actually, it's not 24 hours. For you, you order today, let's say anytime between now and 3 p.m. We close our orders at 3 p.m. The orders are processed in the morning. We go harvest early in the morning. We already know what farmers have. So we match your orders with a 70%. 70% of all our things are coming from this northern Kiambu, so we match it. We know exactly where we're going to get it. We know exactly where we're going to harvest cauliflowers and broccolis and all that. What farmer has them at what rate and what percentage at what price. So we just send our harvesting team there. And remember that this have actually been graded. So we don't need to process too much on the processing center that we have. That's a policy that we have. We want to grade produce at the farm level. When it comes to the processing center, you take minimum amount of time, you dispatch it, and the satisfaction is to the client.
Right.
Yes.
Right. And you call it a one-stop shop. Other than vegetables, is there anything else you offer?
We want to focus on the perishable goods because this is one area that many companies came before us and they were not able to succeed. We don't want to diversify yet. We want to mainly focus on that. Yes.
All right. And let's focus on the fact that you chose to have technology in agriculture.
Yes.
There's been a lot of calls for the youth to venture into agriculture because that's the future. But many think, me being a farmer, me being an agripreneur probably means going to the shamba.
Yes.
This was something very different. I mean, what inspired you? To have this in agriculture?
Okay. First and foremost, in all my life, being an entrepreneur, we never come up with a solution that is not a solution to a problem. So we were working with these farmers and we realized that you find one farmer having been in the farming industry for 37 years. This farmer has been growing for 37 years. That is an unspeakable experience. His son is not taking that. So that is a really, really dire case. What happens in 10 years? What happens in 20 years? So that motivated us to do something about it. So we actually partner with Carlo. We want to initiate, we haven't yet come up with a name or anything, but we want to initiate sort of a motivation for young guys to come in because we want to de-risk that. We want to remove the risk from agriculture. We tell them, grow this specifically because that is the data. We have access tabs to the market, what market needs. And that is what a farmer needs. That is the specific information. If you have what the market need, I mean, you can supply the demand at the right time. That is what is required, and that is exactly what we're going to give these young guys.
Right. Yes. And I don't know if the statistics I have are correct, but I understand that Freshpro was estimated to be worth about, is it 1 billion shillings by the end of the year? I don't know if I have the correct statistics, but is that the case?
Oh my God. I can't comment on that.
Why not?
We have, well, 1 billion is quite a lot. But we haven't done any valuations in-house. But this is numbers that are flying out there. But we have done quite a while. The application is just not an application. I always say that. It has taken us 2 years to build it. And what is out there is just a fraction of it.
Right.
We are still beta testing the rest, and we want to unleash it at the right time, and it's working perfectly. In fact, right now, the system works perfect. As in, you have the consumer on one end, and you have the farmer on one end, meeting them exact requirements.
And what goes into that, developing such an app? Because you're dealing with people's money, you're dealing with people's time, you're dealing with the quality of products. How much effort goes into making sure that app caters for everybody?
The application is just the 10% of it, I'll tell you the truth. The rest is the human factors, 90% of it. You'll have an application, but if there's nothing, if the system is not being followed because there's an element to the human factor, we have other sections that our extension team have to input, our harvesters team have to input in the system. So it's a whole ecosystem. It has taken us quite a lot of time, yes, in developing it and putting it out there.
All right. And of course, we talked about the inspiration you had as an entrepreneur.
Yes.
You always have to solve a problem.
Exactly.
But with Freshpro, I mean, the idea is so different. Do you have any competition currently in the market?
Well, for us, the way we are doing it is we are using data to drive our entire business. I don't think there's any person who does that. Because you'll find somebody going to the farmer, buying, and then coming and selling it to the market. He doesn't know the clients, he doesn't know how things are going to be, he doesn't know how much price he's going to get it at. So they get a shock of their lives immediately when they get it to the farmer. So for us, we changed it a bit. So what we're doing is we're putting not the horse before the cart, but the cart after the horse. As in the entire process has to be followed. You have to have information which is critical how the market needs are, what moves very well and what doesn't. You'll find, for instance, when the rain season comes in, all the farmers, they do leafy greens. And then you'll find one price of cabbage going to 3 shillings.
Right, right.
So that is what we do not want. We want to tell farmers, please, 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 when we approach you, take this application, we will give you the right amount of what is actually you need to grow. Yes.
And you mentioned earlier you had about 1,000 customers so
Yes.
far.
Yes.
How is the reception to this app? I mean, you know, with technology, it's always guessing. It's either a hit or miss. But how is the response, and especially the category of individuals who are using Freshpro?
Okay. We cut across. We found ourselves cutting across all the classes. Simply because our prices are very, very favorable. And the response to the technology is quite immense because busy mums, again, people who do not have time to go to the market. If you go to the market, you not only waste your time and everything, but the chances of you not getting fresh quality produce is very high.
Right.
Market days are Tuesdays and Fridays. If you go to a certain market on Wednesday, you get things that were delivered to the market Tuesday. And these things were harvested on Monday. So they have been having a shelf life of 72 hours, while we offer you fresh produce immediately from the farm. You're talking about 4 hours fresh. The difference is, the experience itself is phenomenal. You can't compare what you get from the market and what we deliver.
Absolutely. I mean, I've used it before, so I can witness to that. So what's next for Freshpro? 2017 just began. What's new?
Oh, we have a lot. We are launching on the 18th of February. I think guys can wait for us.
Wait, launching what? Isn't the app already operational?
It's operational, guys can order, but that is just a small percentage of the services that we want to offer. Other services are going to come on the 18th of February. I don't want to spill the beans here.
Still is too far. All right, I think we'll have you back when you tell us that. But even as we wind up, what's been your experience working in the tech industry? Kenya has been described as Kenya's Africa's Silicon Valley. You know, has there been a lot of support in terms of developing the app and whatnot?
We haven't had any support simply because what we have is radical. We approached some other guys. We thought that they could back us, and it had to be proven. It had to be proven. It had to work well. It had to be done. So we bite the bullet. It has been a very tough time for us, 2016 and 2015, but here we are today. It's working. The system works perfectly, and we are launched and poised to grow.
Right, right. A very interesting conversation there on Freshpro Kenya. This is the CEO of Freshpro Kenya, Ahmed Ibrahim, talking to us about an app that can deliver groceries right to your doorstep. So do head to Google Play. It's not for iPhone yet.
It is. There we have iOS.
All right, all right. So yes, so do head to your market store and grab Freshpro. This is an app that you can use. It's a free app to deliver groceries right to your doorstep. And this is a conversation that brings us to a close here on Tech Central. Many thanks for watching. My name is Michelle Ngele, and that also brings us to a close on Morning Express. Do catch Michael Gitonga tomorrow on Morning Express at the same time. For now, however, I'll be back at the top of the hour with Worldview.